Life in Panama. 25,000 Americans and hundreds of thousands of other foreigners were attracted to this little nation in Central America that offers fantastic benefits for expats with income from abroad. On top of that, other perks and advantages easily put this tiny country among the best places to retire in the world. So keep tuned to discover the pros, cons, and cost of living in Panama. At the end of this episode, we'll give you an intriguing comparison between Panama versus the most attractive city for expat retirees in Europe and the most popular city for retirees in Florida. This episode was long expected to come to our channel. Everybody thinking of retiring abroad knows how appealing is Costa Rica, but Panama has many of the pros of their bigger neighbor without some of the cons. So let's start with the advantages and what makes Panama an attractive destination. I will not talk about the weather because it's obvious Panama has good weather. It's in the Caribbean. So our pros start with more overlooked things that are tremendously important. The first is the low cost of living. Panama has very low living costs when compared to the US or Western Europe. And in huge part, this is due to much cheaper real estate and labor costs. Think affordable living, apartments, houses, way cheaper than you are used to. The price you would pay for a cramped apartment in Chicago or London in mid-sized cities of Panama will put you inside a villa with a swimming pool. Your grocery money in Panama also goes a long way. Tropical fruit galore, seafood fresh off the boat. Imagine Whole Foods premium products, all at prices that will make you smile. Top quality, but way less than you would pay back home. The very low living costs are probably the first aspect that put Panama side by side with Costa Rica among the best destinations to retire in the world. But the low living costs are not the only impressive thing about this country. Actually, probably it's not even the most impressive thing. Let's talk about something in the US that breaks the bank. Healthcare. Forget those crazy US medical bills. Get this, a regular doctor visit about $8 in Panama City. Maybe even less. Compare that to a whopping $300 to $600 in Los Angeles. Need your teeth cleaned? That will run you $60 to $120 in Panama. In major American cities, that would be easily double of this value if you are lucky. Do you need a major surgery like appendectomy? In Panama City, you are looking at $3,500 to $6,500. In the US, it might cost you between $18,000 to $40,000. There are cases of people being charged $55,000, like this medical bill you see now. The good news is that Panama got great private hospitals and clinics, lots of English-speaking doctors, and way cheaper insurance than the US. Another positive aspect of Panama, and that is something that may sound not important to you, but as an expatriate myself, I cannot stress how crucial this factor is. It is that people are friendly and have a relaxed pace of living. Panama got that warm, laid-back vibe you love. The people are super friendly and ready to welcome you with a smile. Those little things like a quick hola, buenos dias on the street, it's their way of saying, hey, you're good here. Panamanians love a good chat. Expect them to ask about you, where you are from. It's that genuine curiosity that nurtures a social life. The next pro is public transportation. Getting around in Panama is easy and cheap, especially when we compare it to other countries in Latin America. Forget about those rickety old buses you could find in the rest of Central America. Panama City has a modern metro system. Think air-conditioned trains and signs in English and Spanish, and it runs incredibly smoothly. Then there is a huge network of metro buses, comfy seats, dedicated lanes to beat the traffic, and the best part, one single card, the Tarjeta Metrobus, works for both the metro and the buses. The cost for each metro or subway if you are from the US ride is held firmly in your seat because you think I'm joking. It's not $2 or $1, it's not even 50 cents, but only 35 cents. 35 cents for a metro ticket. It's literally the cheapest public transport ticket I ever heard about, and it has a good quality for this price. The next pro is the political and economical stability. The country has a strong commitment to ensuring political stability and the rule of law. They also have experienced robust economic growth over the past decade. The country's strategic location, the Panama Canal, and its status as a global logistic hub have contributed to this economic success, attracting foreign direct investment and fostering business development. Another factor is the dollarized economy. Panama adopted the US dollar as one of its two official currencies. The other is the Panamanian Balboa in 1904, providing a stable monetary system. Dollarization eliminates currency exchange rate fluctuations and provides confidence for investors and business operating in Panama. It's also very beneficial for foreign retirees, since they don't lose in exchange rates. The last positive aspect of Panama is also overlooked, but after living for more than a decade abroad, I know very well how crucial this is. It's called connectivity. Connectivity is when a country has infrastructure that allows you to quickly reach other parts of the world by land, sea, and most often air. And Panama is the most well-connected country in Central America by far, and that's because of Copa. The ample offer of flights from Panama to the rest of the world via Copa Airlines and other companies is a significant advantage for foreigners residing in Panama. Retirees who have relocated to Panama often had strong ties and close relationships with family and friends back home. The availability of frequent flights allows them to maintain these connections by easily traveling to visit their loved ones or having them visit Panama. Direct flights eliminate the need for layovers and transfers, making the journey more efficient and comfortable. This is particularly advantageous for older individuals who may prefer to minimize travel fatigue and enjoy a more direct and streamlined travel experience. Now that you know about all the incredible positive aspects of Panama, let's talk about one that may be considered a pro or a con, depending on where you come from and to what you compare it. However, before we begin, I would like to ask a small favor. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the like and subscribe button. This thing that might be good or bad in Panama, depending on your perspective, is safety. Since Panama relies heavily on the tourism industry, the country ensures that the levels of violence stay under control, and crime rates are relatively low, especially when compared to nearby nations like Guatemala, Colombia, or Venezuela. Panama's homicide rate is only 11.3 per 100,000 residents, one of the lowest in the entire Latin American subcontinent. To put into perspective, the average homicide rate in Latin America is 22.4 per 100,000 people. So it's safe when compared to neighboring countries, but if you compare it with Europe, then Panama might be considered a violent country for you. Another negative point is that the traffic can be congested. Dealing with congested traffic daily can be stressful, especially for retirees who may prefer a more relaxed and leisurely lifestyle. Sitting long queues, maneuvering through heavy traffic, and dealing with aggressive drivers is not what most of us dream when we think about moving abroad. Some of the most congested areas in Panama City include Via España, Avenida Balboa, and Corredor Sur. While most people consider the weather in Panama has a positive aspect, there is also a negative side to it. Panama's tropical climate brings high humidity, especially during the rainy season. For some, this might require some adjustment. Expect that sweaty, sticky feeling that might take some time to get used to. Constant perspiration and a damp environment can be uncomfortable for certain individuals. Additionally, the tropical climate means dealing with a variety of insects, including mosquitoes. And since we are talking about a Latin American country, there is the always present problem of bureaucracy. If you don't speak Spanish fluently, navigating official forms and government offices, that can be a real headache. Language barriers make it tough to even know what is required, let alone get things done. Also, be prepared for some inconsistency in how rules are applied. One day it's this way, the next is different. That can be frustrating. Now that you know the pros and cons of living and retiring in Panama, let's go for the most interesting part of our episode, the cost of living comparison. Let's compare the cost of living in Panama City with the best city for retirement in Europe, Valencia in Spain, and against one of the favorite cities for pensioners in the USA, Tampa in Florida. Panama City wins hands down when it comes to groceries, offering fresh produce and staples at a significantly lower cost than in Tampa or Valencia. Speaking of Tampa, expect to pay about 83% more for your groceries compared to Panama City. Valencia grocery costs fall in the middle ground. If you're looking to rent, Panama City is a dream compared to the two other cities. Apartment rent is much less than half of the price of Tampa neighborhoods. While Valencia rent is still more affordable than Tampa, it's costlier than Panama City. Panama City also takes the lead in affordable transportation. With its cheap and efficient public options, Valencia has a decent public transportation system, but more expensive. Meanwhile, in Tampa, you must have a car. Which of the three would you prefer? If you want to know more about Valencia and the best cities in Spain to retire, check this video here at your left.